Welcome to a special Thanksgiving episode of TeeVo The Beard.
Happy turkey, everybody.
Right? Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble. We'll get into what we're doing later, but first, important stuff.
Yes.
We need to talk about things we watched,
Yep.
things we heard,
Yep.
things we played,
There
or at
we
least
go.
just one of us.
Or at least you played, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a 4-year-old daughter. The thing I play is Legos, which are awesome. I love Legos.
You know, just now, I bought a bunch of Lego Dimension stuff.
Okay.
Because RIP, Lego Dimensions, they have ceased production of future items, which is good news for me because it was a game I wanted to play,
right?
But I didn't want to pay lots of money for the extra stuff,
right? Which is what kept most people from buying it.
Yes, but now that they're gone, half off.
Exactly.
So now I buy.
So see, people can start. We're giving Christmas advice already here. Go ahead and start holiday shopping.
Yes. I bought. Yeah, they're pretty much half off. So that whole, play with any Legos and any adventure thing.
Yeah,
I'm there. But
awesome
for a good price.
Yep. Are you going to reveal which system you bought it for?
Xbox One.
Xbox. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. One. Yeah, Xbox One.
Yes. But this week, I was listening to Anna Faris's podcast, which, by the way, for you, I recommend Janet Varney's podcast. I think last week she uploaded an episode with Yael Groblas.
Okay.
So it's a good interview.
Is that how you officially pronounce it?
I'm calling it Yael Groblas.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll definitely check that out.
And I think she even said her name on it.
Okay.
But I think in my head, I already kind of figured out how to say it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going with. Unless,
yeah.
There is a definitive interview to correct me.
Unless Gal Gadot corrects us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for you, since, you are a fan, and I am now a fan, you should listen to it. It's really good.
And I've heard...
It's called the JV Club.
Okay, yeah, because I've heard stuff with Janet Varney before, and she's funny in her own right.
She is, yes.
So, yeah. I would like to not, since we're talking about podcasts, I would like to not recommend the Norm Macdonald podcast.
It's a...
Have you listened to it?
If it's the same, because he uploads I assume a video version of it. So it's probably
I imagine in video it's a lot better.
I can't imagine what it's like to just hear it, because it's not like he's doing anything extraordinary on camera.
Right.
It's just the interviews he does. Instead of you hearing them, you can also see them.
Yeah.
It really depends on the person he's talking to. I'm not going to just listen to it.
Right.
If he's talking to someone like big that I want to learn from, I want to experience something with Norm Macdonald and guest.
Right.
Yeah, I've had a few.
That's what I was doing. I listened to the Jim Carrey one. I was not impressed with... I was impressed with the way Jim Carrey handled things, but I was not impressed with Norm Macdonald's style of interviewing and podcasting.
I will say that is kind of my impression of past episodes I've watched. I have the Jim Carrey one saved on my YouTube thing. Okay. But I can say that's a kind of consistent thing. Okay. I've listened to one with Bill Hader. Again, Bill Hader was the better part. Right. Stephen Merchant. That was just an awkward one. Okay. Well, because they have such different styles of everything. Yeah. And they don't mix well. Okay. Stephen Merchant is, a British comedian. He has really quirky ways. Norm Macdonald's so insanely dry. Yeah. It didn't mix. Okay. So... I still watched it. I thought it was informing, but
So everybody, check out Janet Varney. Ignore Norm Macdonald,
unless you really want to hear who he's talking to. Right. Yeah. Which I guess in our case, that's what happens. Yeah.
But onto the.
But I was listening to Anna Faris, and she had Paul Scheer on. And for those who don't listen to Anna Faris Unqualified, you should still. Yeah. She is teaching, I guess, she and Sim are teaching kind of a master class at USC on podcasting. They had Paul Scheer come in and kind of, be the guest speaker for the day, since he too is, you can say he's qualified to run a podcast. Yeah. He runs the famous How Did This Get Made? Yeah. With June Diane Raphael and Jason Mantzoukas. And, during his lecture in quotes, he was saying how, part of the joy of doing this, sure, they get to have fun and, sometimes do it in front of a live crowd. But the overall fun of it all is that he gets to essentially hang out with his friends during it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very conversational piece with his friends. It's just happened to be recorded and sometimes watched.
Right.
And, you know, I thought, you know, that's why I deal with you. I feel like I've gotten to know you a lot better during this whole experience.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for this. That's all I wanted to say.
This has been a moment with TeeVo and the Beard.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a good way to segue, you know, talking about our podcast.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to tell you about Janet Varney's interview. Not really interview, because she doesn't really do interview. It's very conversational. She might ask interviewee type questions.
Right.
Because you can't help it sometimes if you're just getting to know somebody. But I wanted to tell you about that episode since I heard it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking her out, JV Club.
So, and, you know, but more than that, just wanted to share that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But off the bat, so let's talk about our shows, or in my case, the lack of.
Okay, so because we are true to form and we don't like to not cut anybody out unless we have to.
Yes.
In 5 seconds or less, Inhumans.
Oh no, we're gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
We'll
You have.
I have a. We're gonna segue first into DC.
Okay.
In my notes.
Okay.
And then we'll go into Marvel.
Okay.
All forms of Marvel.
I didn't realize you had that much to say about.
I don't have much, but I have an order.
Okay. So again, I watched The Flash. You did not.
I did not.
Yes.
You also watched Supergirl. I did not.
Well, yeah, but that one we were more straightforward about that. You probably weren't going to watch Supergirl.
Off the bat, I'm just going to say Supergirl. I did not watch you. Nothing personal.
Right.
Flash, kind of personal.
Right. Here's what I like about Supergirl, though.
Yes.
The episode we got about sisterhood and about the origin of Supergirl, basically, is exactly what was advertised.
Yes, and that's great.
It was. There was no extra stuff. There was no like big twist ending. In fact, it was a happy ending. This is actually one where I'm not going to spoil any of it for our listener, because it's one where if I tell them anything about it and they do want to watch it spoil free, it's going to ruin it, because it is a sisterhood origin story. There's not much spectacle to it at all. Right. It was really good TV. Yeah. Was it the best Supergirl episode? No.
For me, you know, as we said last week, and again, nothing personal, CW Supergirl writers, but when your trailer for the next episode looks like a filler, like when the trailer is a filler, I was so sure it's gonna be a filler. Yeah. And for me, I was like, you know, I feel like I already kind of gather their sisterhood. Yeah. You know, I want to move forward with our story instead of looking back. But that was just
you can definitely make a lot of assumptions about this episode, and you would probably be right.
Yeah. And nothing personal, but for me, DC, if you're listening, I did do something DC related in turn of watching Supergirl. So we don't talk about video games a lot on this podcast. Right. Not that we have anything against it. You can say we're just not that qualified to talk about it.
Exactly, yeah.
But should, you know, we get a guest who wants to do a part-time segment,
hey, we're open.
We're open for it. But anyway, but not that we're void of video games. Right. But just don't play a lot. But I did purchase months ago when it was released, Injustice 2. Okay. You know, the Mortal Kombat DC fighting game. Right. The mindless fun that people, you know, play. I do. I bought the ultra nice package because, you know, with that, you can get all the downloadable characters. Right, yeah. And the character that was uploaded the night I would have watched Supergirl, well, let's say I chose the video game instead of that. Okay. And the character was Hellboy. Nice. Only in this game so far. This game so far, you know, has your classic roster DC people. You know, your Superman, your Batman, your Wonder Woman, your Flash, your Lanterns. But the downloadable characters so far has been the Red Hood, which is a fan favorite. Yeah. Starfire. But they have extra people outside the DC universe. Okay. Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat makes an appearance. Yeah. Raiden from Mortal Kombat makes an appearance. Nice. Favorite. And as I just said, Hellboy. And then the next downloadable content wave, you have the Ninja Turtles. Oh, nice. Let's say that one of the first fights I did on the game was Hellboy versus Raiden in the Batcave.
That's about the geekiest sentence I've ever heard.
I sat there going, what is life right now?
Right, yeah.
How is this possible?
The times we live in.
The times we live in.
People are always talking about how much, this year sucks and all that, but then you have something, that shining ray of hope right there.
It was. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah. I had a lot of fun.
Now, do you play it more casually, or do you...
Oh, I mean... I would call it casually, yeah. Okay. I'm not great at the game, but I'm also not online. I'm not paying Xbox Gold prices. Okay. So suck it, Microsoft. Yeah. You don't need Xbox Gold to just play the game. Mm-hmm. They want you to think you need Xbox Gold.
Right.
But you don't.
Right.
I mean, if you want to play online, then yes, but I don't care to.
Yeah, I'm not. Anytime I play a game, I want it to be
very local, like
very local. Yeah.
So I'm not playing against people.
Yeah.
I don't even have. No one's even ever played games with me at home. So it's not like I'm trying to get good to beat a vast amount of people. I'm only good enough to just play by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I guess in that term, I still have the old school gaming mindset.
Right.
But I just enjoy the amenities of the new age gaming.
Yeah, the graphics of the new games with the playability of the old games.
The introvertedness.
Right, yeah. Where if you do happen to have a second player, they are literally right beside you.
And it has to be right beside you. Yes. Yeah. But that's just that. But that in void of watching Supergirl, I was doing that. Mm-hmm.
And the other one that you avoided watching was
Flash. I don't think I was doing anything. I just didn't.
Yeah. Now, I'm starting to look at The Flash a little bit differently now.
Me too.
So, well, you're not looking at it at all, except on Synopsy on Wikipedia.
Oh, it's different. I am
looking at it. Yeah. So I'm looking at it as a reboot of Season 2. And I'm enjoying it a little more looking at it like that. So in my mind, during that 45 minutes, Season 3 and 4 do not exist. So they went from Season 1 to this, and the fact that it is a funny, lighthearted season fits perfectly. So problem solved, CW. I fixed your issue. So now just go back in time and make that actually happen.
Because you can.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You've done it before.
Right.
But this week, I am looking forward to watching this week's. I already planned that I was going to watch, or I guess, this week. We can say this week. By the time you upload, it will be this week.
Right. Yeah.
But I have made plans to watch this week because it is the confrontation between Barry and the Thinker.
Right.
Told in flashbacks.
Of course.
But nonetheless, it was like, okay, I don't know this. I'm going to watch this. I think the problem with the last two or three that I didn't watch was just because from the synopsis and then reading it afterwards, like, I don't think I needed to know any of this.
You really don't. And like with the Council of Wells, I was hoping for more from that because each one, because it was, our regular Wells and then 3 other ones. For one, I expected more Wells-I.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expected more of them because I expected a council of them. And I also expected them to spend more time with them.
Especially when the title is called When Harry Met Harry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think if you take all the scenes that they have together, it's maybe, and this is really pushing it, 10 minutes. It's probably closer to 5. So I was disappointed in that. I'm not disappointed in the comedy that they have in there now because each episode, except for the first one, has made me literally laugh out loud. I hope that's their intention because it's the way it's playing out. Really, they obviously still don't care about Wally or where he went or what he's doing.
Yep.
So if they are planning some, spin-off with him leading the Teen Titans or working with the Teen Titans, it is not. They're doing it ABC style. Yep. Where we're just gonna ignore these characters until then.
Yep.
So but yeah. So hopefully they're gonna get back in story mode like episode 1 was. Even though we did have our gripes with it, it did have a Flash story to it. And then of course Supergirl is gonna get right back into.
Oh yeah, Supergirl has been doing what I guess I'm craving for this season. I want forward story. Right. And I want stories that kind of make sense.
Yeah. But, I mean, obviously, this past episode, they had 45 minutes to fill. Yeah. We already have this information.
I read it and I was like, oh, I might go back and watch it.
Right.
It's just at the time when it came on, I felt, well, I don't need to know this right now.
Yeah, because it's definitely one that can be watched at any time also.
Exactly. So, but just their story, the way they're handling their characters, I think their character work has been resonating with me in a way that The Flash has just ceased to be.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you excited about your boy coming back for at least one episode?
I am. Yeah. Yes. But, they did actually say, I can't remember who teased it. I can't remember if it was an actor or a producer or something like that. Yeah. But they did tease, I guess beyond the big crossover, beyond, say, the mid-season finale or something. Yeah. Legion of Superhero will play a part. In this season. Mm-hmm. Makes me excited. Yeah. A, because, it's an opportunity to see heroes you don't see very often. Mm-hmm. And B, there is Mon-El in the Legion of Superhero. Yeah. So it does make sense he will come back. And, coincidence?
Yeah, I think the preview for this episode is kind of pushing...
Kind of like it's the prequel of
it. But I think it's kind of trying to throw us a red herring and be like, oh no, he's coming back as a bad guy. It's not going to be, the Mon-El that you know and love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he will. Yeah.
Yeah. What they do with Mon-El and Legion of Superhero, I don't know, but I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that CW, I don't want to say ruin in this sense, but you can't surprise people when you literally put an announcement out saying so-and-so is playing Saturn Girl, so-and-so is playing Brainiac 5. It's like, well, there's only one reason why those characters will be on.
Right, yeah.
And it's the Legion of Superhero.
Because either you already know or a very quick Google search will tell you who they are. You don't even have to do a deep dive to find this out.
No. So, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Right now, though, for CW, for me, it goes Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash. As far as, getting
I'm hoping what I want from it. I'm hoping the X amount of episodes I didn't watch are like what Supergirl did this week. They had, instead of 45 minutes, they had 2 hours. Yeah. And I'm hoping once I see the episode that I think will progress the story, maybe it'll go back to what I want from The Flash.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously the next week after that is the big crossover.
Of course, yeah.
So we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's next on our agenda?
Now we can talk about the end of the Inhumans.
Okay. So I know that for a special episode you want to kind of do a deep dive into
how to fix the show.
Right. But for our dedicated dozen here who are curious about our other thoughts on shows, let's give them the 5-second Inhumans ending. Were you happy, sad?
Frustrated.
Frustrated?
Frustrated.
Okay. Did they leave it open for a second season?
I mean, there's a tiny one, not as big as sometimes when S.H.I.E.L.D. does stuff.
Okay.
Which frustrated me more because, this could have been an ending to a second season. Mm-hmm. I'm going to reiterate that this story should have been a second season of the show. Okay. Because, characters came back, characters died, then came back. There was just a lot of dynamics that just, my main complaint throughout the whole show, and you dedicate a dozen will know that, is that we don't know these people that well. Right. So when you present problems and stuff like that, we don't have a basis to go on. Right.
Yeah, so here's my solution in the not so special episode version. So what they do is they secretly film 6 or 8 prequel episodes, and when it comes to Netflix, they release it as season 1 and season 2.
See, there we go.
Yeah, that way people who didn't watch it on TV are like,
spared.
What was TiVo complaining about? Season 1 is right here.
Exactly.
So it's it was always, and they can even date it 2016 or something.
Netflix, if you're listening.
Yeah, right.
Just know that we said it right now.
Because Netflix does have the power to do something like that.
Have the power.
And they would be like, yeah, no, that was totally how it went.
My main, I guess one thing I would fix about the finale is, so earlier in the season, closer to the end, Gorgon died. Yeah. And then he came back in the penultimate episode. Right. But
it's a good word, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But in the classic coming back from the dead thing, he doesn't just magically come back and everything's fine. No, he comes back all weird and
different,
savagey. Mm-hmm. But there is a point when Adelan's about to be destroyed. See, there's another thing. If we spent more time at Adelan, we would care. Right. But we didn't, so I don't. But Adelan's about to be destroyed. So, or the barrier around Adelan's about to be destroyed. So if you're going to be on a moon with no barrier, you're going to have problems. Yeah. But there is a moment when Gorgon kind of goes out of control, and Karnak basically says, it was my fault. I was being selfish to resurrect you. But if you want to die, it's okay. But if you want to live, I will help you. And nice. I was like, ooh, that's a good moment for him to die. Because, because he is literally walking around like this.
Yeah, kind of zombie style,
but just not.
Yeah,
I was like, "Ooh, that's a good line. That's a good moment." See, that's the other thing that frustrates me. There are good moments, especially with Karnak's character. Yeah. There are good moments he had because I like that actor. I was like, "Ooh, that's a good moment for him to die." Yeah, the resurrection. He didn't. And there is a moment at the end because they have to. There is a moment when the whole royal family stands in, the comic book stance.
Right, yeah.
Which would be a cool moment if Gorgon wasn't like...
So he ruins the family picture?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of my standout moments. Like, he could have died. He could have died right there. I wouldn't say it would have made the show better, but it just would have made sense.
Right.
But no.
It wouldn't have ruined anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't ruin anything. Wouldn't help a lot, but whatever.
So all in all, if people out there want to watch Inhumans, fine, go out there, do it. If they're wondering if they should watch it,
I say you shouldn't.
Okay.
And I can say honestly, I watched the IMAX release.
Yeah.
I gave it a chance. I watched the whole show.
I mean, you paid to watch the first 2 episodes.
I did. So, and it was. I wanted to support Marvel.
Yeah.
And, maybe that money will go to different ventures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not this one, but different ones.
Right, yeah.
You can do different stuff. They have loads of content.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So what's next here?
We have S.H.I.E.L.D. news.
We do have S.H.I.E.L.D. news?
You don't know?
I know about the trailer.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
News. But
because I couldn't read your handwriting, I thought that said Twitter.
Oh. What did you think of the trailer?
It was exactly what I was wanting.
Me too.
It was
I just wanted anything.
Right. It was proof the show was coming back without giving us everything, without spilling it all out there.
Yes.
And it did confirm we are actually in space. It wasn't just Coulson in front of a 4K TV with a space background.
A curved 4K.
Right, yeah.
But the thing that stand out at most people was that crawling alien, the blue crawling alien. Yeah. A lot of people are hoping it's the Brood.
Okay.
Which it can't be. For those who don't know, which I'm not an expert, but I know the basic, very, very basic.
Yeah.
Through a quick Google search. The Brood is basically an X-Men property.
Okay, so it literally cannot be.
But, as Marvel has done, just because they don't own it doesn't mean they can't make a likeness of it.
Right.
So...
It's like, we don't have mutants, but we have Inhumans.
Exactly. So, for the Brood, it's basically kind of these space bugs that take over you.
Yeah.
And, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And I could definitely see, Clark Gregg doing like a quip where he talks about this menace being very brooding.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not going to say the name, but we will describe them in such a way that you know who we're talking about.
So will the, ABC TV do a TV Marvel version of the Brood? We don't know.
Right.
But that's the beauty of a mystery. We got to find out.
Yeah, and also we don't know how many episodes we're getting or how they're going to break up this season. So
especially starting December.
Mm-hmm.
Because of we're logically they're like, well, you're not going to air Christmas week.
Right.
At least I don't think you are. And then you're not going to air the weekend before New Year's Eve unless I don't think you are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions, but I want them answered, and I will wait patiently.
Yes, and since they're on Friday, there's no telling what they're going to skip or not skip.
I know the first episode is going to be a 2-hour premiere.
Right.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to share at least a theory I have.
Okay.
So we know from reports that ABC wasn't very keen on keeping Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Thankfully, our Lord and Savior, Mickey Mouse,
yes,
ordered them, made them renew it.
Yeah. The House of Mouse is looking out for us.
Yes. And I wonder why.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, well, obviously because, you have fans, but, why would you make them renew it or make them reconsider on the block? And there's my theory.
Disney to give kind of the logical part first before we get conspiracy theories, which I'm hoping yours is conspiracy related. Disney, for better or worse, does care about its fans.
Yes,
they give.
Oh no, and my theory involves that.
Okay,
but it's no secret there is a giant Marvel movie coming out next year.
Yeah,
called Infinity War. And while Shield, used to be that kind of cheap. Yeah, I'd say cheap because they tried. But, they've grown into its own beyond the movie connections. But within this first season, they really tried to push the movie connection.
If you watch season 1 and watch season 4, it is almost like two different shows.
Yeah. I mean, now they will reference certain events that do happen, but it's not as in your face as they try to make it.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. But, as I said, there's a giant Marvel movie coming out. I wonder if ABC was kind of wavering on, renewing the show. And then the execs of Marvel saying, no, there is an opportunity for something really cool to happen. Yeah. Not necessarily a crossover, but maybe a story that can kind of coexist with Infinity War. Right. I mean, being in space and everything, we're not that far from it.
It would make sense. Yeah.
And, maybe the head of Marvel people or their delegates gave Jed and Marissa, the producers and writers, some information they could use.
Yeah.
I mean, the finale would happen around the time the movie would come out, so
makes sense.
That's just where my thinking is.
Yeah, and I mean, Chris Pratt's done TV before, so maybe we have a Star-Lord crossover.
We don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, or maybe something even bigger. Maybe if this is the final season.
Right.
Might as well
go out big.
Go out really big.
Yeah.
But that's just my thinking.
It's the blowing up of the S.H.I.E.L.D. characters that starts the Infinity War.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know.
No.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm thinking, there's got to be more of a reason. I like to think there's more of a reason that they made them. Maybe they can finally do a crossover. Or just a really big mention other than, oh, yeah, we're cleaning up after Thor's mess.
Right.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I mean, because, that's not the first time something like that happened. Obviously, they let Jed and Marissa know ahead of time what happens in Winter Soldier. And that was a big movie. And that was a big storyline.
Yeah.
You're telling me, like, Infinity War... I mean, you can say, okay, sure, Ultron, but, maybe that because that happened in another country, didn't, worry about S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Or Civil War. Again...
And S.H.I.E.L.D. had its own stuff going on at that time that they had to deal with.
And then, with Civil War, I could see why they wanted to make it more of an internal conflict rather than, a massive, branching out.
Yeah.
But, this is a kind of big deal. It's 2 movies.
Yeah.
So...
I definitely see potential.
Obviously, I could be totally wrong. I could be thinking into it way too much.
But we wouldn't be fans if we didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my Marvel bit.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
So, what's next?
Let's go in. Oh, we're still in space.
Oh,
Let's stay in space.
In space here. So I would like to say thank you to Seth MacFarlane for proving that Rob Lowe is the best human and most charming human, no matter his species or color.
I will say that was because I didn't read any synopsis on this. So I had no idea what was going to happen.
I saw guest starring Rob Lowe, but I expected to see him as
I was in the kitchen.
Rob Lowe.
I was in the kitchen making a sandwich, so I didn't see any of it.
Oh, so you were really surprised.
So when he came up, I had the question. I was like, is that Rob Lowe?
That alien sounds just like Rob Lowe there.
Wait, is Rob Lowe playing the guy? Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
I see why everybody falls in love with him. He's Rob Lowe.
Yeah. And literally quite in that episode.
Yeah. I mean, they could not have hired a better actor for that part.
Yeah. But what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was a really good episode.
We're back, we're back to having a Kelly Ed story.
Yeah, and this was definitely more on
And I meant to say that as a good way.
Yeah, and this is definitely back more on the comedy side versus like the last episode or two, where they did take a more serious run at it. And I like that they don't hold themselves to one style there.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes our stories are going to be serious, sometimes they're going to be quirkier. And there was serious stuff in this episode. I mean, you have 2 aliens fighting over land.
Yeah.
And, they end up finding out that they are both, they're both descendants.
They have a common lineage.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I thought it was very good. Enjoyed it. And enjoyed the love triangle. Yeah,
that was an interesting one. I didn't expect it to take that turn.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Norm Macdonald again.
Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. Something he can play well as a green alien blob.
I will say, Norm Macdonald, for better or worse,
mm-hmm.
When you watch just Norm.
Yeah.
Hit and miss.
Yeah.
But that's it. But that's his style. He sticks with it. You
mm-hmm.
can't say he tries to be something he's not.
No.
He
is the best Norm Macdonald out there.
Yeah. So for better or worse, it's Norm Macdonald.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say when Norm Macdonald plays a character, I enjoy him a lot more.
Yeah.
It's something about what he brings to a character,
mm-hmm.
even though the character is just Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
But it's more entertaining than watching plain Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, he definitely brings an alien green glob to life. I mean, they could have done that character so cheaply. I mean, still kept the special effects, but just, basically made him slither around, no personality, anything like that.
But it's Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
And I always say Norm Macdonald's really good at voice acting. In Family Guy, he is the first character who was the voice actor to play Death in the show. Later taken up by Adam Carolla, but he brought just an interesting flavor to the character of Death.
Oh.
If you remember in Dr. Dolittle, he played the dog, and
mm-hmm.
I really love those movies because of Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Which is why I hated the second one, because they decided, no, we're not going to use Norm Macdonald that much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he cost a little bit. So.
Yeah. Especially in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely in the 90s. But yeah, I mean, this is one show where...
I do, beyond a, pheromone.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one that's rooting for Yaphet to legitimately be with Dr. Finn?
Yeah.
I don't want her to be out of her mind.
Yeah, I was hoping that they were going to find out that it was not a pheromone thing, that she actually did, sit down and think about it and realize... sure, he's a little creepy and all that, but he's really a nice guy.
Yeah.
Alien blob down in his...
Well, not in this episode. Maybe another one.
Wherever his heart is.
I do love his bed. I love Yaphet's bed.
Yeah.
It's just like a dish.
Yeah. And
I love his whole room. It's just a bunch of dishes.
And I love that they put that kind of thought into a show.
Yeah.
Like this. Everything in this show makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. But during the whole time watching, I was like, come on, I want them. I know the actress probably thinks this is the weirdest thing, but
yeah,
it's something sweet to it.
It is, yeah. And I like that. Speaking of the actual storyline going on there with the warring aliens,
mm-hmm.
I like that they gave a tertiary character the hero moment.
Yeah,
it was like this random nurse guy
mm-hmm.
that ended up helping figure everything out
mm-hmm.
instead of one of the leads or even a secondary named character or something.
Right.
It was like, no, it's just, you'd see this guy that's been in the background the entire time.
Yeah.
He's the one that saved the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, and also Derulio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I just love the name, Derulio.
Derulio, yeah.
I wonder if that was actually Rob Lowe in the pilot.
I'm going to have to go back and look at that, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I guess that's another reason I was shocked to see it was Rob Lowe, because I was like, oh, random blue alien, whatever. Yeah. What? Was it Rob Lowe the whole time?
Right. And then all the pieces make perfect sense.
What did you think about the kind of reveal at the end?
Reminds me, because it has been a few days since I've watched this one.
Well, the whole episode was surrounded by Derulio's pheromones that make people, have a loving effect.
Yeah.
And at the end, before Derulio left, Kelly asked, were you on your pheromones a year ago? And he said, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I did like that little
So what do you think of the fact that maybe the whole infidelity was not Kelly's fault?
Yeah, and I like that they left it up in the air like that. It's like, don't put too much thought into it. If it makes you feel better thinking it was the pheromones,
mm-hmm.
great. Live your life. Be happy. If you think it wasn't the pheromones and, it was just Rob Lowe. Because Rob Lowe probably actually does have those kind of pheromones, and that's how he attracts everybody.
No, that's also how he doesn't age.
That's true. Yeah.
So, even in alien makeup, you're like, that could easily be 80s Rob Lowe.
It could be, yeah.
And that's just that.
The only thing is his hair has gotten shorter throughout the decades.
Yes.
Not thinner, though. Just shorter.
No.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But offered into another space adventure.
Yes.
This is all you.
So yes, so we are in now that mid-season finale is a thing. I guess everybody's doing it if you have a big show, and I think even some comedies do it now. Where they
actually
so Star Trek Discovery has had their 9 episodes. I have watched all 9 episodes, enjoyed all 9 episodes immensely. Some definitely more than others.
Right.
But it's only judging them against each other, not against other shows. Because this one is still, so far, my favorite show to come out of 2017.
Okay.
Is Discovery. And the way they end it, again, completely spoiler-free, as impossible as this may turn out to be.
Will you spoil it for me on the break?
As much as I can. There's some parts that can't be
spoiled.
Well,
let's just say, is there like a definitive sentence you can say?
I'll have to think about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, on the break.
Yeah.
We won't spoil it for the audience.
But yeah, so this, the episode previous to this was their one quote-unquote filler episode as far as I'm concerned. And this one, you have all the epic fights. You have, all the who's going to survive type scenes. And we are losing a character. Not through death. I will spoil that part, even though it was kind of hit and miss for a while. We learn stuff about the lieutenant that was captured by Klingons, earlier in the season. I'm very sure we're going to keep Michael for the long haul because she has made it this far.
Well, if she doesn't, she's going to be like, I love The Walking Dead for this.
Right. but it kept kind of going back and forth on, what her place in this mission is. I was never worried about, her surviving as much as, going back to prison sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, the way it ends, I'm, chomping at the bit for January so we can start again now. Because the Klingon War is not over. They have figured out some of the technology. They've been able to figure out how to find cloaking ships and stuff like that.
So I take it, it was definitely the story touched more on the show, not the mythology of Star Trek.
Right.
As in, I take it there are no more Spock Easter eggs.
Not in this one, no. And I doubt there will be. I think they kind of, filled in that.
They said their piece on that
earlier, yeah, and they're not going to harp on it. The only thing that gets me though, and I mentioned this a few episodes ago, is with the Harry Mudd episodes, is the stuff they're doing now versus the original series. I have to forget the original series sometimes, just because
at least you have to forget at least the production,
right? Because
story
in the '60s they didn't have the technology to do it, and it doesn't really. It's like, how did we get from this to that? How did we go backwards?
I will say, I hope they start finding more things to do prequels of.
Yeah.
Because, now you have, with this, but how about we do something closer to the time? Like something in the 90s. Let's do a prequel to something in the 90s. So when people watch the old ones, it's not that drastic.
Exactly, yeah.
You can look at it and be like, oh, well, whatever.
It's like, that makes sense.
However, it's like you said many times during this half season so far, when you think about Discovery and original Star Trek.
Yeah, there's
wow.
It's almost like there was a 50-year difference between the two.
Exactly.
Yeah. But in reverse order for us.
Exactly.
But I'm still loving it. Still loving what they're doing with the characters and all that.
That's more just a fun, gripe.
Yeah, that's really, there's nothing they can do about that. Yeah. So,
And you probably don't even think of it in a negative way. It's just kind of funny. It's more funny to you.
And I also don't think about it I know it almost sounds like I think about it constantly, but it's only during key parts where they'll they're transporting somebody while they're moving or something like that. And I'm thinking, okay, I know why original series didn't do it logistically, but maybe you shouldn't have done it in Discovery because they couldn't do it in the original series.
Or make it a super special thing.
Right, yeah. It's we're only going to do it this once.
Because we can't, we can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do it. I only did it once. I don't know how to do it again.
Right, yeah. So yeah, but it's one of those things where it's I almost feel like I love the show so much I have to nitpick a little bit. I had to find some flaw in there, so I find the most minor flaw that I can.
Well, that's me with S.H.I.E.L.D.
That does not take away from the show at all.
It's me with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I can tell you stuff that, could be better, but overall, if if you say anything bad about it, I will fight you.
Right, yeah, it's like having a child.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my show, you're not allowed to criticize it. I am,
Yeah.
but you can't punish Discovery.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth at least paying, a month to watch it and then rewatch it a couple times.
I think I'm going to stick with my suggestion because, after hearing everything you said, and you've done a good job with not spoiling too much. I mean, there are certain things I know maybe more because of these talks.
Yeah.
But between that and then meeting Sony Green, it's a show I do want to watch. And I think I'm going to go with when the season's over, I will purchase the whole season. Right. So I don't have to have a recurring fee. I just own it.
Yeah, and I definitely approve that 100% as well.
But for people who maybe not want to spend that kind of money, I'm not saying I want to spend it immediately because let's say I do want to watch it. I am willing to buy it if the price is right. yeah.
And I've still got to say that. I mean, they can definitely, when it does inevitably come to Amazon, there's a big price range they can go with that because they can go strictly on popularity of the franchise and put it for $50 or more for the whole season.
They could.
I'm not going to pay that.
Neither am I. But I'm talking the 20 to 30 range.
Right, yeah.
And the 30 is really pushing
30, they got to have special features.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be 20 to 25 for just the show.
On Vudu right now, once my credit card billing cycle rolls over, season 3 of S.H.I.E.L.D., $30, you're mine.
Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah. Definitely worth it. So,
but again, as I said, it's my show. I can criticize it. You can't.
Exactly. So anything else for the shows? So we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back for Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And we're back. Yes. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So how do you want to start this?
Well, you know what? Let's just start with so what is your ideal Thanksgiving? You don't have to get too personal.
Right. Yeah.
You've told me certain aspects of your life in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's some that our dedicated don't want to know about.
Yeah, we don't have to get too in depth with that. But what would you want to be your ideal Thanksgiving, whether you can have it or not?
Yeah. Well, first I would wake up.
And be alive.
Because being alive on Thanksgiving is the best part of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah. I would have the Macy's Day Parade playing in the background.
Really?
Yeah. I don't watch parades. I don't like them.
I don't see you as a parade person.
Little Beard loves the balloons. The big, character balloons and all that.
And
a parade does make for good background noise because you don't have to pay attention to it.
You don't.
And I'm also not a sports ball guy, so I don't care about any football game or anything going on.
Does Little Beard, what happens if a balloon popped?
I'm not sure. I think it would depend on the character.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I was watching
if Snoopy pops, she probably won't care.
I was watching Fresh Off the Boat this week. It was a Thanksgiving episode.
Okay.
And the Barney balloon, popped.
Yeah.
And I assume it was probably real footage because it's supposed to take place in the 90s.
Probably, yeah.
And it traumatized the young character.
Now, see, that personal one would not traumatize Little Beard because she has no familiarity with Barney at all. But if SpongeBob blew up, yeah, that might be the end.
You might have to have a talk.
That might be the end of Thanksgiving.
All right.
It's it's not. We had to explain balloons and fictional characters to a 4-year-old and personal safety to a 4-year-old.
Good job.
But I'm not a cooker myself. I can cook.
Are you the type of cook that you can cook for yourself?
I can definitely cook for myself, and I can cook for a couple other people. I just don't like that it takes so much time to prepare something that is then destroyed within a few minutes.
And you gotta clean it.
And I'd rather do the cleaning than the cooking.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's a fair trade.
So yeah, and I won't even say the women folk because there are my father-in-law, excellent cook. So
you just want to say you're really just saying you personally,
right?
You personally just don't like it,
right? So the cooking folk will be in the kitchen getting everything ready, and it will, in my ideal situation, it is close friends, family I actually like. Don't worry, none of them listen to the show, so I don't worry about offending anybody. Even the ones I like don't listen to the show. And if they have any kids, that sort of thing. It's not a Norman Rockwell picture. It's not everybody dressed to the nines. People are dressed comfortably. Nobody's in their sweatpants and PJs and stuff like that, except maybe the kids.
Yeah.
jeans and t-shirt in this weather, shorts and t-shirt, fine, and you sit around and you eat and you just, spend time together because you're thankful for each other. And then you have so many desserts that you want to die afterwards. Mm-hmm. And then you watch Wizard of Oz.
Nice.
And then everybody falls asleep watching Wizard of Oz because of tryptophan.
Now, do these things actually happen?
We eat a lot until we feel like we want to die.
Okay.
My father-in-law does do the best deep fried danger turkey. One of those where you take the big metal container of oil and you, from a distance, drop the turkey into it. Yeah, he does that. And the leg is about the size of my arm. Yeah. And I always get a leg. So he is my favorite father-in-law. Also my only father-in-law, but still my favorite father-in-law nonetheless. So,
all right.
But yeah, no, and it's not, terrible Thanksgivings that I've had, but yeah, it does end up going from like that to watching football and stuff like that, and that's just not my thing.
Would you get closer to your ideal Thanksgiving when Little Beard gets older?
I think so. Yeah. Actually,
as the years go by and whatnot.
Yeah. Right now we rent where we live, and I think if we owned our place, mm-hmm. we would probably have Thanksgiving at our place, and that would change the
would you still have
the dynamic.
Would you still have father-in-law bring a deep fried?
Oh yeah. I would make sure that the insurance was paid that week, and just in case. He's never had an accident before, but that one day when you let the insurance lapse, that's when you blow up half your house.
There you go.
Yeah.
But all right.
Well, so what about your ideal Thanksgiving? Because you don't have the wife and child and all that, so
it hasn't changed that much in recent years. Mm-hmm. I do have a niece, so now I just spend time over there at my sister's house. Mm-hmm. But other than that, my Thanksgiving's very plain because I grew up in a culture where this is just not the normal thing.
Right.
We only do it just because literally everybody else is. Yeah. So might as well get with the program.
When in Rome. Yeah.
Well, I think also it really helped me growing up to have it because I don't know if my parents would have done it if my aunt didn't marry an American soldier.
Okay.
So he obviously grew up with this tradition.
Right, yeah.
And and obviously, then his family, being my aunt and his children, then grew up with that as well. Or my aunt grew to do this.
Right.
So it was nice to have that kind of tradition around. Mm-hmm. So while my household doesn't necessarily do it, we always used to go to my aunt's house and then my uncle would, do the
full
stuff.
Turkey,
Now, granted, he was an old school person, so obviously my aunt did everything, and he did nothing.
So the women folk were in the kitchen.
So that, in his case, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
With me, it's just like the cooking folk are in the kitchen. I don't care what their gender is.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He died, so he's not listening.
So, yeah.
My cousins...
Actually, you never know.
Well,
the ghost of Thanksgiving past here.
Well, and my cousin who is a son, he doesn't listen. So
yeah,
sorry if I offended you. If you are,
yeah, this would be
but
what episode our families listen to.
But you know what? That's what I saw.
Yeah, no,
there was a very stark difference between who was out in the living room and who was in the kitchen.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. On my mom's
but nonetheless, we used to do that, and it was really nice. I didn't feel kind of exclusionary.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of traditions growing up when you're a minority, and especially a first gen. You're gonna miss a lot of things.
Yeah.
And with Thanksgiving, I didn't feel like I missed anything. So I am thankful for that.
Yeah, we've kind of because Thanksgiving, forgive me, Mrs. Beard, for forgetting the year because this is before I knew her. Her mom passed away the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Less than a decade ago, or give or take. Okay. So it's become more of in my mind, more of a remembrance day than traditional Thanksgiving as far as that goes.
But is it still kind of a? I'm trying to not. I've also not offend Mrs. Beard.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I.
Yeah.
But is it still like a joyous gathering though?
It is. Yeah. It's not. I guess my question is, it's not like every year a sad memorial. No, and that's why I use remembrance instead of memorial for that, because I used to call it a Memorial Day, and then I got to thinking about the implications of that word. And no, this is more of a...
Obviously, I was trying to choose my words carefully.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah.
Because obviously it's not a joyous, but at least are the gatherings when you go every year is that, you at least have a good time.
Oh, definitely.
Or circumstances.
Yeah, and it's, people aren't sitting there wearing all black and, crying into their mashed potatoes and stuff like that. We do, visit the gravesite while we're visiting her family, things like that. But
I take it, did you know this?
I did.
You did not?
I did not. No, but from what Mrs. Beard tells me, we would have had a lot in common.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you have a great relationship with your father-in-law.
Oh, definitely. And his wife.
So that's great.
Yeah.
They could be worse. There are many TV shows that illustrate that.
Oh, yeah.
And real life stories that illustrate that. So, thankful.
Yeah, thankful on Thanksgiving.
But for me, but going back to, your question about me, now it's just, I either go to my mother's house, or my sister's house, one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm not a big turkey person.
Right. Yeah.
Deli turkey fools me because I always think a Thanksgiving turkey is going to taste like a deli turkey.
Not at all.
Oh, no. If you don't cook that turkey right, it's so dry.
Right.
And it's almost just, I don't even bother.
Right.
This year, I am thankful because my sister's not a turkey person. My mother isn't a turkey person. So really, sometimes we're like, who are you making this for?
Right.
This year, we're doing ham and roast chicken.
Okay.
And I am like...
Nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah.
See, the Thanksgiving food that resonates with me more is stuffing.
Yeah, love stuffing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I could have it year round, but...
Don't even need a turkey with it. Just
No, not at all. Not at all. If anything, I have extra helpings of the stuffing.
Right, yeah.
If anything, I use, I make a stuffing sandwich. I put some stuffing on the bottom, and then I put a little piece of turkey, and then I put more stuffing on the top and just chop it up.
I like stuffing with a little bit of cranberry sauce.
Yeah, I'm not a big cranberry person. I think I'm just on...
Is it the tartness?
I think I'm on the notion that sweet stuff, I don't want it in my main course. Okay. So, I'm not a pineapple pizza person. Because I love pineapples. I love pizza. Just together, it's no, it's the wrong combo.
So, no sweet potato casserole for you? Man.
I actually don't even like sweet potatoes at all.
Whoa.
that's beyond the whole my weird sweet savory combo.
So marshmallows or no marshmallows doesn't matter. It's you don't want the sweet potatoes at all.
I don't want sweet potatoes at all.
Oh wow.
I know there was a restaurant.
And you were talking about getting to know me. Now I'm getting to know this whole side of TeeVo here.
Well, listeners, be well aware for our filler episodes, for lack of better words, I plan to have some deep conversations. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But there used to be a restaurant where I would frequent a lot. They had sweet potato fries, and everybody loved them. I was like, please get them away from me. Okay.
Here's a good question now, because you were talking about culture earlier. So I am American.
Yes.
Born, raised, I bleed red, white, and blue.
So do I.
But I also come from the generation that immigrated over here for me was in the 1600s,
yes,
give or take. So we've been here for a year or two.
Mine was the 80s and the 70s.
Right, the 1980s and 70s, yeah. Mine was the 1660s. So I did grow up with this idea of Thanksgiving, and it was this Thursday that you spent with family. You didn't go to a restaurant, even if you didn't have a Thanksgiving meal. You stayed home because, especially growing up in the 1980s, nothing was open. And even into the early 90s, nothing was open. Even Walmart was closed.
Yep.
So when I see
they're still technically closed some of the day.
I used to work at Walmart. They're not closed on Thanksgiving at all now.
Well, I said they're still closed some of the day.
Only on Christmas Day.
Really?
Yep.
Don't they do the thing where they open it?
Nope.
So you're saying you got to be there? They might not be open?
No, the doors were open. The customers could come in and out and kind of sit beside the pallets they wanted, because you definitely see where I'm going with.
Okay, never mind. Now I get what you're saying now.
Yeah,
I got you.
So when I see people go out on Black Friday, and when I see Black Friday starting earlier and earlier to the point where they now call it Gray Thursday, it kind of sickens me, because it's Thanksgiving is supposed to be this family holiday thing where you spend it with your family, at least for Thursday. Maybe at midnight on Friday morning, you escape and go to Best Buy. So I was wondering, with there being a culture and age difference, what's your view on Black Friday, Gray Thursday, Retail Mania on Thanksgiving? Yeah,
I love it. I'm sorry.
No. I mean,
I'm so sorry.
You are part of the problem, but
And I used to work in a mall, so I definitely. Yeah. I used to work in retail, so I too. It's not like I'm one of those people that never worked retail, so I don't know what they go through.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, I do, and I worked many of mornings on Black Friday. Well, I guess it was technically Friday, so I guess it still counts to you what you said.
Right. Yeah.
But nonetheless,
because that's a little bit more forgivable than this great.
Nonetheless, I was there.
Yeah.
I guess for me, the way I tell people why I go shopping on Thursday is so. For me, like I said, while I did have like kind of like a stalwart like Thanksgiving image growing up,
right?
That faded away quick. Yeah, because it used to be that
because it wasn't ingrained into you like somebody like me growing up.
Well, I think it faded away in the sense of like just the people started to fade away, not death, but but. Let's just say this. So, like, when I was, like, say, in kindergarten, first grade, when I was a really little child, it wasn't just, like, my family and my aunt's family. It was multiple families coming to this house.
Okay.
And as the years went by, it really did turn into, random family, friends of my aunt's, maybe one, my family, whoever wanted to come.
Okay.
So, it could just been my mom and my sister or my mom, something like that. And then obviously the family that lived there. So it just started, kind of fading away as the years went by. So while I have a nice one to remember, like you said, it wasn't ingrained in me. Yeah. Had we had done the big gathering every year, maybe, who knows, maybe it would have been more important.
Right.
But as I just got older and times change, obviously, like I said, when, growing up, you said there weren't many things open.
Right.
So there wasn't a choice. If it wasn't the movies.
Right. That was the one exception you could make sometimes.
It wasn't the movies. There is nothing.
Right.
Now, just there are other things. So these days, like, I spend time with my niece and I spend time with my mother. But sometimes my other even says, do you have friends you want to go to?
So you get kicked out on things.
And I do have a friend I go, the last year I had a pretty nice Thanksgiving dinner at his house, and we're going to do the same this year after I get done with my family. But the thing is, hey, the stores are open. You have something I want.
Yeah.
We're both awake. Let's just do this.
Right. You're going to be open whether I'm shopping there or not.
Exactly. Kind of if you're closed, I'm not sad. But you're here.
Yeah.
I am here. Let's do this.
You're texting Best Buy at 5:00 in the afternoon. What you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But I will say, as far as the city we live in, there are certain places that's not as hectic. And I know a lot of, I can see your kind of gripes on Black Friday, Great Thursday.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people's is the crowd. But I will say, in the island area of where we live in, there is a Walmart. I went last year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It was so peaceful.
Yeah.
I'm sure they hated more being there because it wasn't that busy.
Right, yeah, it's like, what am I even here for?
But for me, as the consumer,
right,
it was like, oh, I'm just going to walk right in and have a nice parking space. Nice. We're just going to park close to the store.
Oh, wow. You actually had to park in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we walked in. It was like a regular Walmart.
Yeah.
And actually, we went to the Target near that area. And even then, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It wasn't until I went to Best Buy.
Right.
Because we only have one Best Buy where we live. So naturally, of course, it's going to be the busiest.
Yeah. And since things like Circuit City don't exist anymore, this is your option.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's just by circumstance, It used to be, I used to spend time with family, but then, they're just not. And then even like the years where they didn't start opening on Gray Thursday, I'd just go to the movies or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I just sit at home. It's just... I guess the culture you're talking about just, wasn't as heavily involved in my life as yours.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the movie, though, because there was one or two Thanksgivings that we did go to the movies after eating. And it was probably whatever, big Christmas-themed movie was coming out. So it was probably like, Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, something like that. Yeah.
But, like even like when I was in high school, we did that and my uncle was still alive. I'd go during the day, but at night there was nothing. So, it used, at least sometimes when I was a kid, when we went to the movies, it was a bunch of us. It eventually just turned to me.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do.
And here, kids, this is what we did before Netflix.
Yeah. I had nothing to do, so might as well just go see this movie I want to see anyway.
Right.
And now, I mean, I probably would still go to the movies, just now I just get there more frequently, so
you run out of things to see.
Exactly. Yeah. But as far as the story, it's just, you know what? I'm here, you're open, I'm willing to go, let's do this.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else on your notes there as far as Thanksgiving goes?
Well, we talked about a lot of what we do personally.
Yeah.
And, we don't mention, like, other things, which they don't air on Thanksgiving. I hate the fact that certain things don't air on Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving episodes of, like, certain TV shows.
Yeah.
I hate that they don't air on Thanksgiving.
No, it would make too much sense.
It would make too much sense.
Yeah.
They don't want to compete with the parade.
Right. Or the sports balls.
But what, I guess we'll close out. What were your favorite Thanksgiving specials, episodes of whatever?
I would definitely have to go with Friends.
Oh my God.
Roseanne and How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to add to the list.
Okay.
I love Friends. I love that Friends was actually the Thanksgiving show because they didn't have a big Christmas one. They only had one Halloween special.
Yeah.
But they always had a Thanksgiving special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm going to add Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
I don't like that show as much as I used to, but those Thanksgiving episodes are hilarious.
Yes.
And in true CBS fashion, you do not have to watch the show.
No.
You can literally watch just the Thanksgiving episodes, even if just one or two of them.
Even if you have no idea who Ray Romano is, you can just watch the Thanksgiving episodes.
Yes, and that's the beauty of CBS sitcoms.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch it.
Yep.
But it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say this show had a lot of Thanksgiving specials, and I was looking up. They only really had two, and only one of them I really enjoyed, but maybe because I watched the rerun a bajillion times. Yeah. The Fresh Prince.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The Thanksgiving episode where Will and Uncle Phil went to jail.
Yeah.
It's such a great two-part episode.
Yeah, yeah. And in true, sitcom format, all of these Thanksgiving stories have that sweet,
it does.
Little moral in it, little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
And essentially, family is very important.
Yeah. So no matter if it's your friends, if it's actual family, whatever it is.
Is that what I will ask? Is it because you are now part of a bigger family, and having your own family? Is that why things like Great Thursday bother you?
I think it's just more of how I grew up, and I'm not saying I can't get past that. I just haven't gotten past that. Now I'm also not the person that goes as far as either protesting it, either verbally or physically being out there. Like I said, the store is going to be opened. Literally everyone would have to stop shopping at Walmart for them to close on Great Thursday.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. If they lose 200,000 shoppers, they're still going to stay open. Yeah, because they're more on the big corporate side. It's not like a little mom and pop place.
Yes.
But
I don't know if more stores this year. Not big stores, but there are stores that are kind of doing their own kind of protest.
Yeah. Okay.
Like franchises that are going to be closed.
Yeah.
So that's progress for you in some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, if you close, I won't be sad.
And that's how I think it should be. If you want to be open, be open. If you want to be closed. And the closed ones, I think, since I'm mostly on that side, should definitely not get judged.
Yeah.
And then I won't verbally judge the, I'm not going to get on Twitter and be like, nobody should shop on Black Friday.
Stay home with your family.
Right.
Family goals, hashtag.
Wait till Cyber Monday. Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
But
hashtag hash browns.
But yeah, like I said, if they close, I'm not offended.
Yeah.
It really is. I'll say it. I say it to everybody. You're there, I'm there, let's do this.
Yeah.
But that's Thanksgiving nutshell for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was kind of thinking, jumping forward, since you were talking about Christmas movies, and we did for our first year, we did a pretty nice Christmas special.
Yeah.
I wonder what we're going to do this year, because my movies haven't changed.
No.
My tradition hasn't changed either.
Well, we might have to both re-listen to that episode and see if we left anything out.
Maybe.
So we can have the Christmas part 2.
Yeah.
But And until next week, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Oh, not next week. Next week, because we are skipping next week.
Wait, what?
We're skipping 1 week because we're not recording during Thanksgiving week.
No, we're not. As you said, family.
Right. So we will see you next episode, I'll say. And everybody have a happy holiday, whatever you're celebrating.